Hello my friends and welcome back to another beautifully polygonal day here on my procedurally generated community Minecraft server. I'm just hanging out here at my ship doing a little scaffolding removing. As you can see, I've already gotten the big I-beam behind me that was made out of cobblestone, because I'm at the point now where we don't really need to have this extra scaffolding. If I fall, I usually survive it. I say usually because I haven't died yet, but not without being at extremely low health anyways. Just me farting around, as it were. But I need to get some of this dirt, because for those of you who have been watching, know I am about to put down a little bit of a farming section on this next deck. And what I want to do first is kind of frame out the area. I'm definitely going to need dirt in order to plant crops, etc. So I'll need to go dig some more out, probably, from this section on the beach where I wanted to kind of have like a sand dune kind of berm thing there. So I'm digging back the dirt anyways. And I'll probably have to infill some things because there's a small cave network there. But that's way in the future, detailing stuff. What we're doing here, we're still looking at the big picture of the ship, and on this deck, as I said, I was going to put together some farms. So I'm going to frame out the sections. They need to be about 9 by 9, 11 by 11 if you want to include a fence on the next block out that would surround it. But we're going to see how they fit in here. I'm going to remeasure, double-check my numbers because I don't remember what any of them are, and see I know where my center line is, and then kind of determine where the most central point will be. That would make sense, because there's so much space here. I'll probably be able to do a lot. But I want to kind of have them over where the villager trading section is below, so that I could have like a hopper system that flows into chests that would be cut into the floor, right? So periodically there would be a chest that you'd be able to access from below or above in order to do trades or get materials. If I need to get materials and go, I can get materials and go. But if I'm down below and doing trades, then I can get some trades going on. All right. Plus, I thought it's about time I got rid of all of the dirt because I have ladders and things. I'm going to leave some of them, though, because it's every now and again I just end up on those platforms. So I might as well have the scaffolding there until it's time to actually get ready to close it up for good, and when the ship is actually done. But we'll get to that when we get to that. This one I think I might leave here because it's quick to get across and get over. Yeah, for sure that one. All right, so let me go get this dirt, and I will get the sections kind of measured out, and we'll come back and I'll show you what I gotta have in mind. Welcome back, my friends. As you can see, I've laid out a few things. Pay no mind to whether or not it's dirt or sand. I just decided after laying down the dirt that sand was probably a wiser decision. And that's what I've done, and I've laid out a couple key things here. Now, there's some space up here. I'm thinking this will probably end up being either some smelting or storage. I know I have storage down below as well, but I might actually do some official storing over here. I don't know. We'll see. But as for the rest of it, well, let me kind of break it down for you. These are little 9 by 9 squares that will probably be villager-assisted automatic farms, like potatoes and carrots and wheat and beetroot, I believe is the new one. And I believe the wheat and beetroot will be easier than the potatoes and carrots. So I don't know. We'll see what's happening. Some villager mechanics are unknown to me, so we'll check them out. This right here, this dirt block, all the way to that dirt block. All of this in the center. Well, the stone kind of represents where the trading area is below deck, right? So I was looking around at trying to figure out where I might put a sugarcane farm, bamboo farm, but I didn't put it there. What I did instead was think to myself, are there any alternative methodologies? And there are some that have there are the slime block types that I've seen, and there's one I saw that was one of the hermits. I'll figure out who it is and I'll put a sign out if I use it. But he had a sugarcane farm, pretty sure it was he, had a sugarcane farm that was kind of diagonal like this, and squares of water were held up behind it, and it was stackable. So maybe I can put 2 in here before the next flooring unit, but I'm going to have to double check. That's going to be a little bit later on down the road. And then down over here, we have a couple more things, some various sizes and shapes and dimensions. So this is still 9 by 9, just in case I wanted to have it more centered here, or not, and then I could just make this the cow farm and this the pig farm. And then over here in the back, this whole back section, all of these blocks are just kind of representative blocks of trying to get some spacing. So this is what a 10 by 10 block would look like with 2 squares of space next to that farm, and then a 1 space, and then a 10 by 10, and then up here. And this is what it would look like if it was all one big piece. And these are kind of the spots where I think they would break up best and still give us access to our ingress, egress.
But these are going to probably end up being sheep, right? And, oh, iron farm at work. I'm thinking maybe do the monochromatics up here, you know, the black, dark gray, light gray, white, and then do all the colors down and through here. And that might be what we do. But the very first thing I'm going to have to do, unfortunately, this would be fast, and I could get that done. But the first thing I'm going to have to do is the automatic villager breeder sections, because I'm going to need to bring brown coat villagers up from below deck, which means I'm going to have to dig out a hole and make sure that I have a rail system that comes up here. And do I want to take them from where they already are, like eject them out of the system and then take them up there, which would probably be best? I have some Fletchers that are ready to go. Or do I want to keep creating villagers until I get one in the chamber that I can send up here? And some of these farms, I believe, require 2 villagers, one to do the harvesting and one to do the throwing at the villager. And I also think it has something to do with the proximity to villages. So it might be problematic to do it here. And I don't know if... I don't think... Since there will be no doors put down, I don't believe it's going to disrupt the village mechanics of these 2 aspects. But this is where we're at, and now I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit more research on some villager farms. We'll come back to that sugarcane. And I don't know. I'm not completely sold on that. I might still, like I said, go with a series of the slime block type. And the reason I have it here is because, again, if this is a water stream or something that flows to here, or even hoppers, then we have chest with bamboo or sugarcane here to make paper for all the trades. And then if I flow all of these to a central area here, I could have boxes that have all the vegetables for trades. And then if I do my cow farm and pig farm here, I can have the slaughter chamber kind of built in, all of this, so that it just flows down into a chest. Again, that would be at the floor level, so the chest would actually represent, would be the ceiling of the subdeck and like the nubbin of this part, and then that way I would have access to it from both sides. So if I ever need like to come in and get some wheat or some beetroot or potatoes or carrots, I could grab them from up here real fast. But if I happen to be below deck, I'd have access to them too, also, that is to say. And then I might do the same thing with some of the sheep farms, because shepherds trade white wool, so I might do, which is another thing, maybe I do the monochromatics down here and do colors back in the back, and then that way I have another chest that would have white wool. But, you know, we'll see. I got to get something built, though, next, don't I? All right, so let me go ahead and do some building, and I will get back to you in just a moment and give you a little progress update. All right, my friends, welcome back. And notwithstanding what I'm going to do in the back of the ship, I definitely think I'm going to have some automated farms, and this is the simplest one I can think of off the top of my head. These are just getting ready. Bear with me for those of you who are already saying it's not going to work. I know, hang in there. But I'm not certain whether or not mob griefing is turned on or off, and certain mechanics won't work certain ways, so I need to wait around a little bit to find Alex. But I thought that I would get a farm started, and the first farm I'm going to get started with, I think, is going to be a wheat farm, because I can do that without regard to the hostile mob situation. So as you can see, there's some rails that are going around, and this is just the pattern I went with to make sure that this square, this light source square, is going to be here, because I need it to hold a bucket of water in the square above it. And I needed to provide some light down through here, because spiders may spawn, I'm not certain, on tracks. I'm pretty sure they will, but this light source will take care of all of that. So what we've got going on underneath here, as you can see, is that I've got a rail, right? So the rail system is here, and if I put a cart on it, I need to build a cart. If I put a cart on it, it would ride along and do its thing, and every now and again it would come through here, and this hopper will pull something out of it and put it into this chest. All right? So I'm going only single wide, because I don't expect... Yeah, this wouldn't be a very good overlap here, and it's just the way the space is going to, end up being. So that's the way it is. So what I want to do is put a rail every so often, boom, here now, right, my detector rail, and here I'm going to put a powered rail, right? So when the cart comes along and hits this, it will detect the cart above it, power it, and send it on its way. So if I were to do these every so often, then I would be able to get my cart to get all the way around here without ever having to touch it again. One hopes, right? So let's see if I can go ahead and get this done up, and I'll give it a quick test run, but I'm going to have to make the cart first, the mine cart first. It'll be a hopper mine cart, by the way. So I wanted to make sure I got that done first, and then we'll go from there. I want to really make sure that this lane here has a good amount of run, so this is where I'm going to make sure this detector is, and then this is where the power is. And then for the rest of it, it can pretty much be like bits and pieces along the way. We'll put a detector here, and a powered rail there, right? Okay, so let me go make that minecart and see if it works. We'll give it a tester. Hang in here. Man, oh man, I sometimes miss water like this. Well, not like this, but, you know, big enough that it's like a small sea, or maybe even going out towards an ocean, you know? But here we are, working on our ship. I guess we'll be surrounded by water soon enough once we get underway. But I've gone ahead and finished up this section down below. I need to find a lily pad for that guy right there. I'm going to need to put up some framing around the outside still. Make my way in after I get my villager up here. Well, you know, but we'll deal with that after I do the villager thing, so let me show you what that's all about. So right now I have 4 brown coats and 1 down below on an accidental ejection that is hanging out down below. So I could work them all the way down and then climb them back up. And I might, you know, still do that. I could always rip this rail down and just kind of bring them along a dirt path and bring them up the other way. You know, but I might actually continue breeding and see if I can catch one along the way is the plan. So let's hope that we can get lucky. If we don't get lucky, then we'll do the harder way of pulling them from out of the ejection system, because I didn't really think about recovery, you know. But here we are. What it's going to happen is I'm going to get them, pop them up to the normal rail. I just kind of interrupted the normal run and have it coming up this way. My hope is that these detector rails along the way, like this one, will power that golden rail, right? And that powered rail will then send it up the cart. And hopefully the cart will have enough momentum that it'll hit this detector rail and ride onto this then powered rail, which will, you know, repeat the process, chain him up here, and then he'll just kind of cruise into here. Once in here, I'll kind of block off this section and push him along and get a bucket of water, which I've used down below. I gotta get another one. And he'll just kind of cruise around and drop in. After that, we can tear all of this down, plant the wheat, and make sure that he's got wheat in his pockets, nothing but wheat, and we'll be good to go. So let me see if I can get lucky here in the next little bit, and I'll continue to build a little bit of extra things. Give me just a moment. I'll be back soon. My friends, as you can see, I'm down here below deck, checking out all of my villagers, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, and I think I'm going to end up taking this guy right here, dropping him down there, getting this water out of the way, and taking out the doors temporarily, and moving him out here so that he will actually come up these rails, I hope, and up and down and around and over and then this way and then up and through the process we talked about before. We will get him here, close it off, and then water stream him, I suppose, to here. But that's going to be a lot of work, and I think it might be a little more problematic than the time we have, but I will show you what we've got going on here. I've gone ahead and put in the bottom side here. I've got the rail cart going. Everything's working just fine. I've put the dirt encapsulated inside some reverse stairs, or upside down stairs, I should say. Got my little opening, and I've got some wheat growing already. So once this gets filled up, oh wow, one's already there. It's going to be all good to go. So I'm going to get that going on the next episode, because I think this is about all the time I have for today. This is to say, this is a good stopping point. So this might be a little bit of a short one, but that'll be okay. I think what I want to do is have like the walkway here to be just like a standard walkway, so everything's going to be open and you can kind of see what's going on underneath. The other farms won't be able to be like this. This one is admittedly probably the simplest of the designs. But once this is in the walls above, we'll have like this big farm section that we'll be able to walk through, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. So if I didn't show you what this works like before, and I don't think I did because I had some corrupted video, what's going to happen is this wheat's all going to grow up, and the villager's going to have an inventory full of seeds, and he's going to go try and pick the wheat. You know, he'll go boom, and up it'll come, but he won't get anything because his inventory will be filled with seeds. In the meantime, all of the wheat will drop down on the ground. And then the hopper cart will come along, and by its design, suck it through the dirt block down below. And here, let me see if I can get a couple more examples here. Just Alright, so those are kind of out there. Close that up. My cart will come along, scoop them all up, come over this hopper right here and drop one in there, right? So this is what it's going to end up eventually looking like. A bunch of seeds. I'll probably do this, have the seeds across the top row, and the seeds will drop in and fill up, and then down here will be filled up with this. But that's going to happen once we get the villagers up here. So the next episode, that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on getting those villagers from down below, from this chamber, up, over, across, and up there. And we're going to try to get 4. 1, 2, 4. We're going to try to get 4. Oh, I've got 5 of them. Cool. We're going to try to get 4 villagers for sure, up above, just so we can have them above deck. And then I'll reset all of this back to normal and revisit how I'm going to... I don't think there's going to be a recovery method. I think we're just going to lose them. So that's what we're going to do next episode. And if that's something you want to stick around and see, then by all means, please do consider subscribing to this channel for more content just like that. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far today and you like the direction this is going and you can appreciate the artistry that's involved in some of these constructions, then by all means give me a thumbs up. It really does mean a lot to me to see some interactivity. And any comments, I'm always welcome. Always welcome your comments. My friends, until next time, however, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.